Purpose of this video is to walk through this pricing example related to the programming at the ice rink. So to get started, I've already moved the text into Excel here as I demonstrated in other videos. So let's just kind of walk through this. Again, our first thing to do is to basically list out all the information we have. So you're going to offer a special family night of ice skating for families of children with autism, provided at least 50 people sign up. So we have our first piece of information here, which is our minimum number of participants, which is in this case 50. I have told you what it is in this example, but we could make that dynamic. So we're going to make this a cell that we can change. And as I said, I just like to make those yellow so that I remember. The event will last for 2 hours. So we have our next piece of information. Event length. 2, remember I only put numbers in cells, hours. Just move our little text box here so that we have some more room. Okay, so 2 hours. And the rink can hold a maximum of 100 people. Maximum participants, 100. Let's go back and make this length dynamic. Okay, maximum participants is probably not a dynamic element that probably can't change. The ice rental fee, so now we're getting into costs, is $300 per hour, but we've got this little catch here, which is there's a 2-hour minimum. We'll see how that comes into play in a moment. We need to pay skate guards. We need 1 skate guard per 30 people. So we're going to put 30 people per 1 skate guard. We actually could conceivably make this dynamic, but that gets, quite honestly, rather complex. So we're going to leave that as unchangeable. Our ice rental fee, we're going to say is changeable because maybe we can negotiate that. And then skate guard hourly rate is $20 per hour. Okay. And then we also have a skate rental fee, which is $10 per participant. And then we decide to add in a contingency rate, which, as a reminder, is basically our fudge factor saying, oh, we think this is all our costs, but they might change, so we just want to make sure we don't screw something up. So we did 5.5%, and the reason you don't see that is I just need to increase the decimals here in 5.5%. Okay. Now our next piece of information is the end. 55 people actually sign up. Okay. Let's change that formatting so it's a number. And we have, again, due to the mission of the organization, you decide to subsidize the participant cost 25%. So we have a subsidization rate. It's 25%. Remember that this is basically saying you are going to pay for 25% of the cost with another source other than the price. Okay, so it might be a grant, it might be tax dollar support, it might be a donation, but somehow you're going to reduce your costs by 25% through a subsidy. And ultimately that's going to be passed on to participants. Okay, what do you charge? So the first thing we need to do is calculate our total costs. To do that, let's break it down into some categories to make it a little bit easier for us. If you're more advanced with Excel, you can do these all in one formula, but let's break it down. I think that's a little easier. So the first thing we really have as a cost is our ice rental fee. So as I said, I like to bold my subtitles here. Before we go too far, let me back up a little bit. Subsidization rate may change, contingency may change. Actual attendance may change. Let's assume we can negotiate the skate rental fee and we can negotiate the skate guard hourly fee. So let's say all those are changeable. Okay. Ice rental fee. So at a simple level, it is simply the hourly rate times the number of hours. Okay. However, in this case, we've got this little caveat, which is there is a 2-hour minimum. So there's a couple ways we can get at this using an if-then statement. Okay, so we're going to back up and delete this. So if-then always starts equals if parentheses. So we know that it has to be at least 2 hours. So we're going to say if our event length, in this case is cell B2, is less than 2, then we're going to treat it as if it is 2. Okay, so then we're going to say if it's less than 2, then 2 times the ice rental fee. So what Excel reads here is if it comes across and says, oh, it's only 1 hour, then it's still going to calculate it as 2 hours. So if the hourly number of hours is less than 2, then we're still going to say 2 times the hourly rate. Otherwise, so if it's more than 2 in this case, then we just take our number of hours times our hourly rate. Tab out. We can see it remains 600. The nice thing here is if we change our number of hours to 1, then it's still 600, right? Because it's treating this 2. Same thing for 1.5, again at 1.99, all treating this 2. Anything above 2, so if we decide to go 2.5 hours, then it's going to adjust it above 2. The next thing we have is the fees for our skate guards. So the first thing we might want to do is see how many skate guards we need, because we know it's dependent on how many number of participants we have. So let's say number of skate guards. Make that bold. We know it is 1 per 30 people. We know that the rink holds a maximum of 100 people, which would mean we'd have a maximum of 4 skate guards. So this is another if-then statement. So equals if our number of participants is, we're going to change that back to, let me just back up just a second. I'm going to change that back to 50. Okay. So equals if our number of participants is less than 31, i.e. if it's 30 or below, then we need 1 skate guard. Otherwise, if our number of participants is less than 61, then we need 2 skate guards. Otherwise, if our number of participants is less than 91, we need 3 skate guards. And then our only other option is for 4 skate guards. So otherwise, 4. Excel's probably going to tell us we need more parentheses. Let's see. It sure does. We just say yes, accept that correction. So we see at 50, we need 2, which is correct. Let's see if we change this to 25. Now we only need 1. If we had 65, we need 3. We have 95, we need 4. So what is happening here is Excel is just reading this step by step. It's saying if this cell is less than 31, then I need 1. If it's not less than 31, it moves to the next condition. If it's less than 61, I need 2. If it's less than 91, I need 3. Otherwise, 4. So we know the number of skate guards. So now we can calculate total skate guard pay, which is simply the number of skate guards we need times their hourly rate times our event length. Okay. So now we have a skate rental, which in this case is just a per participant fee, so fairly simple. So equals our per participant fee times our number of participants. Keep in mind here, whenever possible, use a cell, not a number. And the reason we do that, we could say equals $10 times our number of participants. But what if the skate rental fee went up? Or what if we were able to negotiate it down? We want to be able to change that. Okay, so we see $500 for 50 people. We see if I said 55 people, it would go up. We can see if I changed it to $9, it would go down. Okay. Now we have a contingency rate. So let's go ahead and calculate the total before we tack on our contingency. Okay. I like to do it this way. Total cost. And it's just a sum at this point. It is our ice rental fee, our total skate guard pay, and our skate rental. So our total costs right now are $11.80. Let's tack on the contingency, and as I've mentioned, you can do this either at the cost point or at the price point. It really doesn't matter. The math is the same. Contingency rate is 5%, so I say total costs with contingency. So basically, we're just adding 5.5% to our total cost. So it's simply our total cost times 1 plus our contingency rate. Some of you may like to do that times the contingency rate plus the original cost back in. This 1 plus is just a little bit of a shortcut. Okay, so that gets us up to 1249. I'm going to just fix that formatting, 1245. Okay, so at this point, if we wanted to calculate a break-even price, we could do that, and it is our total cost, including our contingency, divided by our number of participants, and it comes to roughly $25. However, we have said we want to subsidize this, and again, you can do this at the cost or at the price place. Either way, the math looks the same. So price is subsidization. So whereas the contingency adds, the subsidization actually subtracts, so it's equals our price times 1 minus our subsidization rate. And we will see our new price is roughly $18 and change, 1867. So I mentioned here that in the end, 55 people actually sign up. And hopefully you realize that this is kind of a red herring. It's a fake piece of information. Not fake because it may be reality, but it's a useless sensitive information. Because remember, we set the price before we know how many people sign up. So we want to set the price based on the minimum number of participants we're willing to have the event with. That way, if we get more than that, we basically created some fudge room. We'll bring in some additional revenue. If we get less than that, however, you're actually going to lose money and not be able to pay for this without dipping into another source. So you can see here everything in yellow we can change and update. 99 participants. If that was our minimum, you can see it brings our price down. We could change the skate guard hourly rate. We could change how long we want this event to be. All kinds of things we can do. So that concludes this example. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.